Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and this series with Detroit did not start well. So if we must, let's just talk about it. We'll start with my 3 questions from last game, and then we'll transition into the 3 questions I have for tonight when they take on the team from Detroit once again. Question number 1. Can they keep Richard Panik off the score sheet? This is one thing they actually managed to do right. Now, if you recall, last week Detroit made a very large trade with the Washington Capitals. Detroit sent Anthony Mantha over to Washington, and in return, Detroit got Jacob Vrana, who did score a goal against the Blackhawks, Richard Panik, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick. That is a massive deal for just one player. And if you recall even further back, Richard Panik used to play for the Blackhawks. So after this huge trade went down, I was very curious if they were going to be able to keep him off the score sheet when facing his former team, because that just seems to be a thing that guys do, is scoring against teams they used to play for. But the Hawks kept him off the score sheet. Like I said, they did not keep Jacob Vrana off the score sheet, and he scored a very not so good goal. I mean, it was a good goal for him, but the awareness on the Hawks team, especially the guys who were on the ice, since they're the ones who messed up to lead to that goal, not so good. The Hawks had a power play, the power play expired, and Jacob Vrana came out of the box, got a beautiful stretch pass, but nobody on the ice knew where he was. Connor Murphy was the one defenseman back, but he was caught flat-footed. I guess didn't realize that Vrana was coming out of the box, even though Lankinen was tapping his stick on the ice. So Jacob Vrana, a very speedy player, a pretty good scorer, he went in on the breakaway and scored on Kevin Lankinen. Not good. Question number 2. Will one of the Blackhawks new guys get on the score sheet? Nope. The score was 4-1. That one goal being from Duncan Keith, again, 2 straight games. That one was assisted by Alex DeBrincat and Dylan Strome. So nope, no new guys got on the board for the Blackhawks in this one. Question number 3. Will they have movement on the power play? If you've been watching the games or if you've been watching my videos as of late, you'll know that the Blackhawks have regressed and gone back to just standing completely still on the power play. At least the first unit. When Patrick Kane's out there, they just defer to him. If Patrick Kane has the puck, something's going to happen. Well, that something seems to be the puck just staying in a little, maybe 3x3 box on the ice while he tries to find the perfect pass instead of doing anything else. So there was no passing, there was no skating, because once they did their thing and got the puck to Kane, that was it. Until inevitably a turnover happens from him trying to force a pass. But you know, and while there was no movement, they did try to trick us because they switched it up a little bit. The power play on Thursday against Detroit saw the first unit have 5 forwards on the ice instead of, 4 forwards and a defender, 3 forwards and 2 defenders, depending on your unit. Nope, they just had 5 forwards out there, which is fine. I'm all for trying new things, especially when the old things aren't working, which they're clearly not working. And I think the whole 5 forward power play is something that we will probably see more throughout the NHL as time goes on. Anywho, here's my problem. The point man was Patrick Kane. So instead of him, chilling on the right wing, half wall, just holding on to the puck, he was just holding on to the puck at the point. I don't know what their idea was here, but if you watch Patrick Kane, especially on the power play, you don't think that he would be a good power play quarterback from the blue line. They seem to think he's good at it from the right wing side, even though he doesn't do a whole lot usually. But when he does make things happen, they're beautiful plays. So let's just keep doing it. Just keep getting him the puck. We'll get these beautiful plays. We'll get on the score sheet. We'll score power play goals. There won't be any problems. Well, the problem here is that every team's penalty kill units know that's coming. So they shut down the passing lane, they shut down the center of the ice. He can't force the pass to Alex DeBrincat. The puck gets turned over, goes all the way back down to the other end of the ice. We just talked about this in the last video. What I also don't like about Patrick Kane having the puck on the point on the power play is that if he does turn the puck over, he's the one guy back. And Kane, for as good as he is at the game of hockey, you cannot deny he's one of the best players in the league. He will probably end up as the best American-born player to ever play the game, unless, Austin Matthews comes up and does a whole lot of stuff and wins a bunch of cups in Toronto. I know, hold your laughter. Anyway, Patrick Kane, incredible hockey player in the offensive zone. Defensive zone, he leaves a lot to be desired. But that's not necessarily his fault, right? That's not his game. And that's fine. He is amazing at what he does, except on the power play. And he's never going to turn into that shutdown guy in his own end. That would be completely reworking his game, which you just don't do when you have a talent like that. All of that being understood, with Patrick Kane playing the point on the power play, like I said, if the puck gets turned over, he's the one guy back. And he's probably the one guy out there that you do not want playing defense. So when I saw this setup, I was concerned and worried. Although, I will give him credit. At the end of one of the power plays, Detroit got the puck. They were going to break into Kevin's zone, as we will call it, but Patrick Kane made a pretty good move in the neutral zone to break up the pass. So I guess as long as he's making these defensive plays in the neutral zone, it's fine. But once you cross that blue line into Kevin's zone, it ends up not looking so good. And tonight, that zone will be Malcolm Subban's zone because he is in net instead of Mr. Lonkinen. Anywho, the question was about movement. No, there was no movement on the power play. It was very still, but they did change up their positioning a bit, I guess. So there's that. Overall, the game just wasn't good. And what confused me was watching the post-game comments from Duncan Keith, Dylan Strome, Jeremy Colleton. A lot of them said that they played hard, they played well, just bounces didn't go their way. So then I thought I was going crazy. You watch that game and I don't think any Hawks fan out there will tell you that they played well. If there is somebody who thought they played well, I would love to hear about it. If you are watching this video, please tell me in the comments why you thought that they played a good game. So, thinking that I was going crazy, why not just go a little more crazy? So I rewatched this whole game immediately following listening to those post-game comments. Because I either needed to validate my original opinions or I needed to see what they were talking about and be like, oh, well, they were losing, so I was hard on them, but it was still a good game. No, it wasn't. First period. They managed to go into the first intermission up by a goal. It was 1-0. Again, that was the Duncan Keith goal. And what did I say in the last video? When Duncan Keith scores a goal, it throws everything off. Everything goes weird. You know it is going to be a weird game when Duncan Keith scores. And guess what we got? A weird game. This time it just did not go in their favor, so it's not a fun weird. But the shots on goal in that period were 7-3 in favor of Detroit. Now that sounds very bad. I get it, 7-3. That's quite a big difference there. And to be honest, when the game was on live, I wasn't paying full attention to the first period. So what stood out to me in my rewatch was they were getting pretty good shots at the net, but a lot of the time they were getting in their own way. A lot of those shots were blocked by Blackhawks players. Thanks, guys. Or they were just making one too many passes. As it goes, you know, this team does that a lot. So do their little brothers in the Ice Hogs, who also play tonight, so that should be fun. But yes, at least for the first period, the shot totals don't really show you what went on in that period. It still wasn't great for the Hawks, but they looked decent. And they managed to come out of it with the lead, 1-0. The second period was when everything fell apart. You know, it's because the Blackhawks didn't have any power plays in the first period. In the second period, they had 3. If you recall, I told you the score was 4-1, so clearly they did not score on any of those power play chances. Just think about it. If they had scored on those 3, the game would have ended tied. Or the Blackhawks could have won because the last Detroit goal was an empty netter. So there's something a little fun to scratch your brain. If the power play was any sort of effective, this would have been a very different game. You know what would have also made this a very different game? Not giving up a breakaway goal for the guy coming out of the box. Just a thought. But in the second period, while Chicago didn't score at all, Detroit managed 3. One of those was the shot that pretty much everybody blamed Kevin Lonkinen for. I don't know if you can put the blame fully on him. Yeah, he should have stopped it. He should have had his blocker in a better position. But hockey's a game of bounces. Hockey is weird. Maybe if you took more shots on the other goaltender, you would have had a weird bounce go in. Just saying. The second Detroit goal was that breakaway for Vrana. The third goal of the game for Detroit was Troy Stetcher's second goal of the game. Mind you, he's a defenseman. It's always fun when your team's not scored any goals and you let one of their defensemen get 2. It's the Duncan Keith effect. He scored. Look what happened. The shots on goal in the second period were a little better. They were tied 11-11. Detroit just had better luck on their shots, I guess. So if you are counting, going into the second intermission, Detroit had a 3-1 lead over the Blackhawks. Being behind by 2 goals isn't insurmountable. They've definitely come back from being down by 2 before. They've done it this season. We've seen them do it plenty of times. But here's the thing, and here's why I won't give them that credit for playing hard like they said that they did. They came out in the third period, again, down by 2 goals, and there was zero urgency in their game at all. Had this been a game where they had the 3-1 lead, you could say that the game was fine. Still wasn't a good game, but it could have been fine. But they didn't have the lead. They were down. They needed 2 to tie it, 3 to win if Detroit didn't score another goal. But they just looked like they were out there on vacation, just skating around, sort of, trying to pass the puck, maybe, not connecting on too many, lots of turnovers. They did manage 11 shots on goal in the third period, so there's that, I guess. It's better than the 3 from the first, but I don't know if any of those shots were even high danger chances. It was just bad. And for a team that's fighting for a playoff spot with Nashville, if they really want to get in, they needed to take 4 points from Detroit. If you're determined we're going to make the playoffs, you have to beat the teams that you should beat. Yes, they did just beat Carolina 2 in a row, that being Detroit, not Chicago. But the Hawks have done really well against the Red Wings so far this year, and they needed that again, and that they did not get. So if they want to stay somewhere in the vicinity of a playoff race, they have to take 2 points tonight. Oh yeah, and Thursday night when the Hawks could have grabbed those 2 points and just didn't, Nashville lost. So that would have been a very good night for the Hawks to gain some ground. But no, they couldn't be bothered. And you know what? After tonight's game against the Red Wings, the Hawks have 3 straight against the Nashville Predators. And that, my friends, is a team that Chicago has not beaten all season. I said on Twitter during the last game, and I'll say it again here just for accountability because I put it out in the universe. I said that if the Hawks did not win that game, Thursday night's game, they will not make the playoffs. And they didn't win it, and I still stand by that. If I'm wrong, I will be happy to be proved wrong, and I will gladly admit that I was wrong. You can come back to this and be like, hey, you were very wrong, and I'll be like, hey, I know, but guess what? The Hawks are in the playoffs, doesn't matter. But I truly feel that losing that game on Thursday cost them a playoff spot. Maybe that's a hot take, maybe it's not. Do you agree? Let me know. So let's just put that one behind us. Here are my 3 questions for tonight's game in Detroit. Question 1, will the Blackhawks have any sense of urgency? Question kind of speaks for itself, right? They clearly didn't when they needed goals to tie up the game on Thursday night. They came out in the first period looking okay. But again, if this team wants a chance at a playoff spot, they need 2 points tonight. They need to look like they care. I will also say this, that on Tuesday, the players were given the chance to go get the COVID-19 vaccine if they so choose. From what we've heard, a lot of the guys did get it. And I'm assuming they chose Tuesday because they had Wednesday off. That would be a day to recover if you have any side effects from getting the shot. But it isn't just written into law that those only last 24 hours. So going into Thursday night's game, there is a chance that some guys were still feeling fatigue from getting the shot, and I completely understand that. Maybe if they come out tonight and look a lot different, a lot more energized, amped up, ready to play this game, urgent through all 3 periods, maybe we can fall back on that and say, hey, it was a vaccine thing. It was a bad game. It happens. But we'll see how they look tonight, I guess. Question 2. Can we see Brandon Hagel back with Dominick Kubalik? This was a combination that just worked. And yeah, I get it. Vinny's first 2 games here, he set up Kubalik for 2 goals. But since then, nothing. So why not go back to the combination that worked? You have the super hard-working guy, a guy who can win board battles, a guy who's got like feet of gold and can blaze past anybody. Put him on a line with the sniper so he can get him the puck so he could shoot the puck into the net. Sounds like a good idea. Or just put Hagel next to Kirby Dach and see if they can bring back some of that magic that they had in the overtime period against Columbus. God, that was a beautiful goal. But down this stretch, we need our goal scorers to be scoring goals. Sounds like common sense, but it's what we need. So go back to the combinations that worked. If they stop working, switch it up. But whatever happened on Thursday night was not working at all. So just give it a shot. Question 3. Can Duncan Keith please not score the first goal of the game? I mean, come on now. It's been 2 games in a row and those games were just madness. One of them they won in overtime. That was good. The other one, this 4-1 stinker against Detroit. Not so good. So for the sake of a Blackhawks playoff push and for the sake of Blackhawks fans' sanities around the world, can Duncan Keith please not score a goal tonight? Or if he's going to score a goal, can it at least be an empty netter to seal the game? Oh god, every time Duncan Keith scores a goal, strange things happen. He would probably get an empty netter and then Detroit would score as many goals as they need in like 5 seconds to tie the game. What did I just wish for? So those are my 3 questions for tonight's game. Do you have any questions for tonight's game? Any observations of the season as a whole? Once again, do you think the Blackhawks are going to make the playoffs? Let me know all of those things down in the comments. If you want to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can head on over to FromCenterIce.com. There's links to all of the different things over there, so you can find us anywhere. But if you are more so just a social media person, you can find us on those platforms. All of the links are in the description. All that being said, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Let's hope that the Hawks can take away 2 points tonight so we can all feel a lot better in the next video. And I will catch y'all after this one. Bye guys. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that subscribe button to catch more From Center Ice content. If you could, hit the like button on this video, maybe share it with a friend or two. And while you're here, check out the podcast playlist and catch up on some old episodes. We will catch y'all next time. Bye!